The second great teacher was Jean Piaget. I replicated a number of his experiments and sent them to him when they were published. And a few years later, he sent me a letter and invited me to spend a year at his Centre d'Epistémologie Génétique in Geneva. And so with my 2-year-old son and wife and miniature dachshund, we went to Geneva for a year. Piaget was a very dedicated man and a great sense of humor, but he taught me a number of lessons. One of the things he taught me was that he said, to the extent that there are Piagetians, to that extent I've failed. He didn't want people to copy him or follow him or to become, he thought, as he always said, the aim of education was to teach children to think and not to accept the first ideas that come to them, and to be creative and think on their own. And that was the source of education. And he didn't want people just to copy him. And so he was always, but he also had a great sense of humor. And I recall once I teased him. I said, Piaget, why do you use assimilation and accommodation? In America, we always use stimulus and response. And all the graduate students in the seminar sort of looked at me as if a bolt of lightning would come down but Piaget, knew that I was just putting him on, and so he replied, well, Elkind, of course you can use stimulus response, but if you want to understand anything, you use assimilation and accommodation. So he always had a great sense of humor. I once I visited him afterwards. I used to go back to Geneva every couple of years, and we took a walk, and we walked on this mountain across the border into France, and I told him a story that I thought would amuse him, and I said, I took my sons on Sundays to the store to buy a paper, and I always get them a toy, and this day, my car was broken, and I took my wife's station wagon. And my son Rick, who was 4, said, "Dad, I'm glad we're taking the station wagon." And I said, "Why?" He said, "Well, we'll get there faster." And of course, that was what Piaget had demonstrated. That the kids, if it's a longer thing, it gets there faster. So he was just a wonderful man and a great sense of humor, and just a major contribution to our understanding of how children grow and think and behave.